Depends on which screen I look at. One screen I'm green, one screen I'm orange. Hopefully it looks good. So today we are here to talk about React Native. I'm going to continue building out the sample app that we've been working on for our contacts application. Last we left it, we had this sort of working. Actually, no, we had it working, and I just updated the styles to be a little bit cleaner and not the bright pink that we had it originally. The next step was for us to add in the navigation from the master list of contacts to the detail context. So the idea is when I click view contacts like this, we go out and get a list of contacts, and then I can go to an individual contact like this and see details on it. Probably don't need the debugger on anymore. I was playing around with it because when we ended the stream last, let's say Thursday, when we ended the stream on Tuesday, I wasn't able to get it to work, but now I got it to work. So let's kind of explain what I did differently. So let's go back to the code and take a look. I'm going to make you full screen, and I don't think we need to show both at the same time anymore. And let's bring you down a little bit to give us more room. So most of this class stayed the same. I don't need this anymore. And I don't need this or this. These are all the things we kept trying to, or I kept trying to get it to work. So this is still the same. This is still the same. So the style sheet will always be the same. This will always be the default I create. We'll look at putting it into a shared style sheet later on to optimize it. Right now I want to introduce the main concepts, and then we can tweak it over time. And then we have here the state. This has the Boolean indicator for whether or not we're loading, whether or not there's an error, and whether or not, or the actual list of contacts. So we create the state variable and using the state class as a property or the type. And then for the constructors, inside the constructor, we initialize the state. So far, this is all the same. I'm just kind of recapping. Then in our render method, we do one of three things. If it's loading, we show our loading indicator. If the state indicates that there's an error, we show the error. Otherwise, we assume that if the state is loading, we are going to, if the state loading is false, we're going to get down to here, and then we are going to load the list. And then on Tuesday, we created this click handler, which will take the item and pass it off to the handle click. And this is what we worked on. So slight difference in what we were trying to do, or what I was trying to do, and what actually worked is this here. So, and this is not really documented well from what I can see. I just happen to do a lot of searching and trial and error. But when you use React Native navigation now, it adds to this props property of the React component the navigation stack. So it already has everything in there. We were trying to add that as we go, and it was causing some errors with invalid hooks and stuff because we pretty much added it or attempted to add it twice. You could ignore the red squiggly line. That's because the props in the constructor is declared as any right here. So TypeScript doesn't know what to do. I'll figure out what to do with this at some point. This is essentially in the C# world. It's dynamic, which is what we're doing, meaning it can be anything. So here we're taking the navigation property from there and calling navigate. Then we pass it the screen name or the route which we created called contact details, and we can look at that from the app TSX. So here we create a context detail and say, when this happens, load the component context detail, which is outlined in here. But before we jump to that, I want to show the second part of the navigation, and that's this. These are called the params, or the optional parameters, and we're passing in a parameter called contact ID and setting it equal to the item contact ID. So whatever item was clicked, the identifier for that is going to be passed in. Now you're probably saying to yourself, well, we have the whole object in the item. Why not pass the item? Good question. I thought the same thing. And when I actually started playing around with this just prior to, I was doing that. But then I read up on some of the documentation here on passing parameters. Now it says in general best practice here that passing in the full user object, like this particular example, is kind of an anti-pattern, because your navigation should not really have the full objects. It really should just be short implementations of something you can do. One of the things they said to do is treat it as if you were using a URL in the web. So in this particular case, we have profile / user ID equals Jane, or it doesn't show it here, but that's a lot cleaner to read than user ID equals Jane, first name equals Jane, last name equals Doe, age 25. And you should use the React state to manage the objects that you're holding. Ultimately, you'd want to cache those. If I have it on the machine, I'm going to keep that on the machine, so I'm not doing that extra network traffic back and forth. But I haven't figured that part out yet right now. So we're just going to go with recalling the API. So right here, we pass in the contact ID. Then up here in the contact details, let's get rid of all this other stuff. We don't need this. We don't need this. Well, we might need that at some point, but not for this example. And then here, you'll notice we have two different items in the state. The first is the whole contact object, and the second is the ID. We're getting the ID from the props. So the props, like I said before, has the navigation in it. It also has a route in it. Both of those are added by React Native navigation. So the route has a parameters on it that is essentially a key value list of items. Here we only have one, which is the contact ID. So we're going to set our state contact ID to be the contact ID. Then from there, a lot of the code looks the same, because since we're going to go out and recall the API, we want that waiting indicator to show if there's an error. We're going to show the error. But then if everything is good, we're going to return the contact. So how do we go about doing that? Can probably get rid of you, because that was while I was doing some testing. We're going to call the API context ID get. Oh, it wants a number. Interesting. I thought it wanted a string. Oh well. I can change that to a number up here. It should be a number, and it'll automatically do the conversion for me. I'm not worried about that part. Now, here we're going to use the state and the contact ID and then do the same thing. We're going to set the response back. If there's an error, we're going to set the state to error, and this should be false because it's no longer loading. It's going to show an error, and that's probably why it didn't work on this screen when it was broken before. Yep. Look at that, caught a bug. I was wondering why it wasn't showing the correct screen. So now it's going to load, and we've seen that already, but we'll double check it, and we'll come back and start cleaning this up a little bit. So let's go back to our view here. Home, we're going to click View Contacts. We get our contacts list. We click on our name. I don't need that breakpoint in there, but if we want to see it, you can see the state's undefined. If we look at props, props has a navigation item as well as this route. You see it has the parameters of contact ID, which is set to 1. So we're good there. Let's hit play, and then it loads. So let's make sure I have all these off just to see that we have the little spinny guy, and then it comes up super quick. Yeah, it's really quick because it's, locally on this machine. So that's there. Let's start by looking at how we can display this record a little bit better. Let's go take a look at our React Native elements. We have a whole bunch of things. Let's do the avatar first. So we'll grab an avatar with our name, and let's do this one. This one's kind of cool. So where are we? Alt-tab. One more tab over to here. Let's build this out. So I'm going to take this here, and let's format you a little bit better. Rounded. Source. Only one tab in for you. And I can probably just put this on one line. But our source is not going to be that. Our source is going to be this dot state dot contact dot URL. So that should load our image URL. Let's put you back up to where you should be. You need to be tabbed in. We can clean up the formatting of the document afterwards. So now we'll have the image of the contact. We can display the first names, and let's put like a header or something in there. So let's take a look at what we got here as far as that. So we don't need a badge yet. We don't want a bottom sheet yet. Don't need buttons yet. We could do a card. That's kind of cool, but I don't think we need that. Let's do a divider. Oh, let's do a header with a divider. So we're going to make the header the person's name. Oh, should we do that right now? Let's not do that right now. We'll probably do that to add the edit buttons and things like that. But we'll probably want a divider in there. So I'm going to go and copy this out. And then I'll tab over to here. And let's put the name. And then a divider. And divider is going to complain for a minute. So let's just go and add you. Let's go and look at what else we got here. Don't need any icons yet. Could have used image, but I like the avatar one a little bit better. We're not going to do any of the inputs. Don't need an overlay. Could probably do social icons, but we're not doing any of that yet. Or we don't have those in our things. Oh, let's do text headings for that. Just so our name looks a little bit prettier. And let's go here. So that all we have to do is add in a H1 here. And then we should be good. So here we're going to add in all the extra stuff that we want to see. So let's just take a look at what this one looks like first, and then we'll go and add in all the extra fields. So we got an avatar, which is super, super small right now. And we got the first name. And it looks like I copied an extra semicolon, missing the divider. So let's fix that. And I accidentally started Visual Studio. Oh, why didn't that divider work? Background color blue. Oh, but this rounded is small, so we're going to want to fix that anyway. So let's go to U and see if there's sizing with the avatar. Because this one looks a lot nicer and bigger. Oh, we can do sizes. Let's do size large for now. Size equals large. Maybe I should turn this to red so we can see it for now. There's probably a theme color we can choose, but I don't remember them off the top of my head. No, I'm not getting that divider to show, but at least the name's a little bit bigger. This one, we might not want the text centered. So let's take that off. And what I mean by that is we probably don't want this one here for this. Let's put them all up at the top for now. Oh, well, maybe we want a different style. I think we don't want the align or justify. I think it's this one. I'm just going to comment out this one for now. I think it's that one, and that sets us to the top. But it could be wrong. No, oh, red one appeared. So it's the other one. Just fine. So what we're going to do is actually do another style here called justify. And then we will add the justify center. And what did I miss? Got that there. Container. Oh, extra comma there. Your close. Wait, I'm not sure if I can put a dash in the name. Yeah, I couldn't put a dash in the name. So let's go and do you here and put container. I don't know why I have it in an array. It doesn't need to be an array. And then styles dot. This is probably why I needed an array, because I was adding multiple to it. And then this is styles dot justify center. Now what that does is going to take the swirly box and put that in the center of the screen justified, whereas for this, that's not going to be there. Let's put you back to blue. So I want you as blue right now. And let's go take a look at it. Let's go here. Contacts. There we go. Oh, I wonder why blue doesn't, maybe blue's not a valid color for it. But anyway, this, I'm not about making this pretty right now, just more functional. So what other fields do we have for our contact that we can display? Let's do, I wonder why that blue is not working. Extra field. So let's do, I think I can do NBSP, NBSP for line breaks. Or actually, I think I need to do this. And that will put 2 lines in there. We can format it up a lot nicer. And then let's do, I don't even know what's in the contact. This dot state dot contact dot, what else do we care about? Okay. Or you can, not working. Let's do email in case you want to email the person. And I think we can use the native emailing hyperlink. I don't know if we need to do create this as a URL and do a mail to. But I want to do that. Do I have the phone numbers in here either? I don't remember if I have the phone numbers. So we have phone numbers. We can use both properties. Yes, we can make these emailable link and then make the phone numbers a click to call link. So let's do that. We can do email. And then this is email address. And then here I want to do this dot state dot contact dot phones dot length is greater than 0. I think this is the right syntax. Oh, I gotta do if, right? Well, let's come back to that one because I don't remember the exact syntax. But we're only going to want to show that if there's an actual value in the phone numbers, and I honestly don't think any of the items have a phone number. So that's not gonna, it might not work for us. I might have to fake a phone number or just add it to the database. So let's do a quick search. React Native email link. How to send email, simplest way. Let's see that. That looks pretty simple. That does not look simple. That looks a little complicated. I just assumed there was simple functionality to just set something out for it. This is actually sending an email, which I don't want to do. Simplest way to send email, you created email with the mail to. That should just work right there. So let's try that URL mail to. Let's do text. And then where are you? React Native components. Don't want deep linking. I just want to as mentioned in introductions, core functionality exists in every platform. The following is non-exhaustive list but covers most. Open mail app, we do that. Open telephones, okay. If you want, we don't need deep linking. So then how do I just add that as a component? Oops, wrong screen. Let's go here. It's not URL. Let's see if I have that up here. Yep. Do I have you in here? Let's do maybe a link. Let's try that. Come on. Link. What are my properties in link? Link to, but not required, to string. That looks very complicated there. Let's see if this does it. Mail to. And then we're going to want this. Control X. Do one more in there, I think. See if that works. Oh, Link's complaining about something. Yeah, it's not the right one. It's not the right one. Let's look at this. Stack Overflow probably has the answer. Linking. Okay, let's do that. Let's turn it into a button instead of a link, or instead of a boring that. This way we can also add the icon and other things to it. So let's go here and turn you into a button. And let's do this one because that one's better. And we don't want this to be that. We want this to be this dot state dot contact dot email address. And let's see, we have that. We'll add the image in a second. Let's see, we're here, view contact. Me, the state email address. Let's see what it pulls up. If it has the 2 in there, got it right. Should make a mental note not to pull up that in there. Nope. Got the addresses wrong. But at least we know the mail 2 works. Now I just got to get this syntax right, which I think I did wrong because of this part here. I think I need to do the double. What am I doing? Sorry, my dog is barking. Oh, lost my train of thought with the dog barking. I wonder if I have to remake that sentence. Sorry, it's getting hard to concentrate with the dog barking. Where are you? Huh, here's a email link to it. Link opening, don't want to send an email, just want to launch the app for user read messages, such an email. That's not what we want. Okie dokie. Oh, I don't know why I'm looking at that when I should just look at this is more of a JavaScript thing. I don't think it's a React thing of how to inject the state here. Yeah, I gotta do it in that. Or maybe do it in like this plus that with only one single. Yeah, there we go. This, we don't need anything. This should just be a single. I think that will work. Nope. This one does need a single quote. Why is this complaining now? Maybe I do need a double. No, that is not working. Source. This one needs a double for sure. Based on the other examples. But then it complains about it. What are you complaining about here? Oh, thanks. Error scan didn't detect anything. I wonder if I have to build the URL. Because this is expecting a property. So can I just do this? Yeah, looks like I can just do that. And my JavaScript is pretty bad, it would seem. Let's go here, take a look. This contacts. Why is it loading that? I wonder if I'm pulling one of those images. I think I'm pulling this image from my website. There it goes. So now if I do this, it should email that URL. And let's try that again. Good thing I don't have anything secret in my inbox. Yep, cool. So that part works. Now let's add an image to it. And I think we can do that from here. We want to add an icon. So let's do import icon from React, blah, blah, blah. And I believe I already installed that package, so it should be good to go. And then I add an icon to it like that. And I think the icon I want is going to be email, but I'll take a guess at it once you get back here. So button, where are you? Button, let's get this to do out of here. Now we have the on press. And let's do, should probably actually clean this up and put the on press afterwards. So this is what it does. And first two things are how it does it and then what it does afterwards. So we got the icon property. And then we want the icon name to be, I wonder if this has IntelliSense built into it. Nope. That should be it. If I got the icon name right, we should see an email icon there now. Home, view new, Joseph, and I got a question mark because I got it wrong. So let's go check out font. Awesome. And then we'll look at the icon names. Envelope. So I need the word envelope in there, not email. Cool. I believe this uses version 5, but we'll see. And let's go back here. View contacts. Joseph. There we go. Now we got an email icon. And we can email it. Cool. Next will be a phone number, but we already saw the phone numbers. Maybe we can do some conditional things in there, but I think we covered enough for today. Got the navigation working. We got the details working. We're showing more than one screen. We have the ability to interact locally, to send emails out. Now, next step is we'll probably add a toolbar here, maybe even change the name of this to the name of the person. Actually, we could probably do that now. Let's go and do that. I think that's just setting the title for the page. I don't know if I need the header component to do that or not, but let's try it out. I think I want to change this. I'll leave it at header 1 because we're zoomed in on that. Let's do header. I don't know which one that imported from. Not even the one I wanted to. So let's do header here. There we go. Headers. And I think the header had 3 properties. We're only going to want the first one. Where are you? React elements, header, center component, text. Oh, I wonder if we actually need to do that or if we should. Huh. Maybe we should just want to change the page title and not use that component. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Actually, I'm going to put the header component on there because that's what we'll throw the edit button on there. So let's go back to the header and let's do let's see, which one should we do first? I don't want the center left. Let's copy out this one and paste this here. we'll take care of the components afterwards. That'll be tomorrow's or next stream's thing. So call that menu for now, but this we will call this dot state dot contact dot full name. Why are you complaining, text? No, this needs to be doubled. It was working totally fine, Joe, till you changed it. This. Here we go. That should pull that. And then this is going to be edit. And hopefully I got the edit right, but who knows? View me. Cool. And we got the edit stuff. We'll want to center this too. I kind of want to change this, but we'll figure that out afterwards. Cool. That's all we got for today. Hopefully you learned a thing or two and can start following along. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on any of the social media screens right here, or you see my email address if you watch this particular episode. So great. Hopefully you have a great day, morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you may be watching. Bye-bye.